so the question was, well, how do we go from 100,000 counts down to 200 counts? And traditional or conventional treatment technologies like ponds, even like some filters, aren't going to get you there. And there just really isn't a proven technology that would get us from 100,000 down to 200.
Okay.
The only option we had is to construct a wastewater treatment plant at the facility, that would have chlorination and ultraviolet, which was very expensive. Or we could convince the city of Grand Rapids to take this water and treat it at their facility just down the street. The hard part, the challenge is that the city of Grand Rapids has just spent over $100 million to try and remove stormwater from their wastewater system. Because Grand Rapids have combined sewers where stormwater and wastewater often go into the same pipe. And then when it rains hard, it exceeds the capacity of the pipe. Things back up, people's basements flood, they overflow into streams and the Grand River. And so they've been spending over $100 million to try and separate the stormwater piece from getting into the wastewater pipes.
Because they've got limited capacity of how much fluid can
Exactly
actually
right.
flow through.
So when we first approached the city, when we suggested that we would like to send more stormwater to their wastewater system,
Sure.
they said, yeah, right.
Right.
Right? So it took a lot of negotiating. It took a lot of communication and a lot of working with the DEQ. I think everybody realized that the only way that they were actually going to really meet this objective is for this to be treated at the wastewater treatment plant. So then the solution became, okay, let's separate out the areas that we consider going to be the dirtiest, that have the dirtiest water. Basically anything that has the potential for this truck leakage, we want to separate this area out and send that to a storage system where you're going to hold this water until such time that the city will accept it. Now we can't discharge directly to their sewers because that would be going against what they've been trying to do all along, and that's trying to preserve more capacity in their sewers. So only when they have available capacity in their sewers and at their wastewater treatment plant will they allow this facility to discharge that stormwater with bacteria in it to their wastewater treatment plant.
Okay.
So the next step of the design was in 2012, and I'll show you the effort that was made to separate out the clean and the dirty here. So this is basically the same map. This here is this building here. This is the road where they come back on. We found that the dirtiest of areas, the areas with the highest probability of containing pollutants and bacteria, are going to be from these areas here, where they store trucks, where the trucks come in and out, and where they tend to leak out the most. So we work directly with Kent County and Covanta to define what this area is. And we work closely with the DEQ also to get their buy-in that, yeah, this is the area that we really want to capture. The reason why we didn't do the entire site is because the larger the area, the more runoff volume you have, the larger your storage needs to be. And that storage gets expensive.
Right.
Covanta, they just spent over $1 million putting in this storage. Okay. And so any areas in blue here are areas that get absolutely no truck traffic or garbage truck traffic at all. Relatively clean areas, these are all roof areas, so these are roof drains. The roof stormwater is relatively clean, and there's very little chance of bacteria other than maybe birds and things like that from birds.